First, today we are going to discuss about multi-line strings. A string that have multiple lines. A string that has multiple lines is called as multi-line strings. For example, you assume some description or notes or address, any postal address. All these are the strings that are having multiple lines. For example, an address you will take. Suppose you will say so and so person named Scott. Okay, son of so and so John. And a door number 1 2 3 4 something, and so and so ABC street. So all these are having multiple lines or not? There is only one string that is existing multiple strings. So how do we store how do we create this type of multiple lines of string? That's what the topic here. In traditional programming, or you can say normal programming, we will create a variable like this where s can be any variable name, of course. So s is equal to, first you will write the person name like Scott. Then to go to next line, we have to use \n. And this part, I mean this string should be closed because we want to write this son of John in the next line. So this double quotes open here, right? So double quotes close here. And a plus symbol for concatenation. And in the next line, another string will start. Previous string is completed, it is over. Now we are going to start the another string. So again, we have to begin a new string here. Check it, double quotes open. Now your data, son of John, whatever. Now for this double quotes, here closing. Again, plus symbol for concatenation. And this process repeats. Some double quotes data, plus symbol. And of course, \n also needs to be added because without \n, it will not go to next line really. This is the way how do we create a multiple lines of string. So how we have the multiple lines here, same equivalent way, here also we have the multiple lines. Okay, let's check it practically also. I'm going to create the same variable here. So I'm going to print it. Multiline strings.ts. We have created a variable like multiline strings. Basically, we want to create this type of text, I mean a string with multiple lines. And then we are going to create multiple lines like Scott, son of John, and like this multiple lines. And then we are able to maintain like a Scott \n. \n makes it to move to next line. Again \n, again \n. So here the problem is every time we have to open the double quotes, we have to close the double quotes, we have to keep a \n, and again for concatenation we have to keep a plus symbol. So this type of nuisance is there. To overcome this particular problem, multi-line strings concept is introduced in TypeScript. Okay, that's what we are going to see here. First, let us see the output of this program. First, we have to compile, right? So cd c:\angular 9 pm tsc file name. What is the file name? For multi-line strings.ts. We have to compile this. So it is compiled. Now we can see multi-line strings.js file generated. Now we have to create one HTML file also. Check the console. Now we can see multiple lines of string. So output is okay. It is as per the expectation only. But the problem is every time we have to use a backslash and a plus symbol. So a lot of nuisance, right? To overcome this particular problem in the TypeScript, we have the new way, that is at the beginning we have to use a backtick operator. So it is not a single quotes, it is a backtick operator. Notice it is a backtick operator. See what I'm saying? Single quotes look like this. This is what single quotes, and this is backtick operator. This is single quotes, this is backtick. Single quotes already we know, already we are able to use single quotes for strings. So backtick is a new operator for strings. So single quotes also for strings, backtick also for string. So what is the difference between single quotes and backtick? Single quotes means only single line of text. Backtick means multiple lines of text. Single or multiple lines. Backtick supports multiple lines of string also. See the point, the difference? I will copy in the notepad, we can understand. So single quotes is representing a single line of text only. It doesn't support multiple lines. Suppose if you try like this, it will not work. It must be in the single line. But backtick supports multiple lines of text also. And for every line, automatically backslash n gets added. That's why we can convert like here backtick operator in the beginning. So here we need not give backslash n manually. No need of closing double quotes, plus symbol, all these things we can remove. All these things we can remove. Check it. And at the end, we have to give another backtick. Instead of double quotes or single quotes, if we can use a backtick operator, we have the facility to write multiple lines of text. So just compile and run this. Compiled, so we can see the same output exactly. Output is what? Same. Got it. So with backtick, you are able to create multiple lines, maybe notes, description, maybe paragraph. So whenever you have a few lines of text, we have to go for the backtick operator. If it is single line, backtick operator not required or optional. For single line also we can use backtick, but it is not must. This is about the multi-line strings concept. Where you can find this backtick operator in the keyboard? See, in the keyboard, where you can see backtick operator. Any idea? Just check it. In the keyboard, this one, this upper character available now above. There are two things. Upper character is like a tilde character. Below one character available now, that is, yeah, this one. This below, bottom one is a backtick operator. Upper one is a tilde character, we don't want it. Below one is a backtick operator. So below one. And do you have to press this with shift key? No, not required. Shift not required. Directly can press. For upper characters, shift key is required. What you can see, if you want to type a tilde character, means which is in the upper side, for that shift key is required. For backtick, no shift key. So like this you are able to use. Okay, and there is another use of the backtick operator, that is a string interpolation also. So I'm going to explain about the string interpolation now. What is the new topic now? String interpolation. String interpolation dot ts. String interpolation dot ts. Okay, it is like, for example, we have a variable like a name equal to Scott, and I want to say welcome to Scott. That means I want to concatenate welcome to and Scott. Both things you want to concatenate. So what will you do? Where message is equal to welcome to is one string, plus symbol we have to use, plus symbol for concatenation. Plus symbol for concatenation. Why we have to use plus symbol here? For concatenation purpose. Welcome to is one string, username is another string. So both strings you want to combine as a single string. That's why plus operator we are going to use. That is for concatenation. That's already we know from the beginning we are using. So if you can just compile and run this. String interpolation.html. Okay, now we can see welcome to Scott. Okay, that's fine. Output is good. But now sometimes what happens, the concatenations will be more and more. For example, let's take person 1, person 2, person 3, person 4. Okay, these are the 4 persons. Now I want to form one data like person 1 and understanding the sentence. Person 1 and person 1 means what? Scott. Scott and person 2, that is John, are friends. They went to they went to meet person 3 and go back to person 4. So in place of person names, just in place of variable names, just assume the person names. So Scott and John are friends. They went to meet Amit and go back to Kumar. Okay, this is a sentence that is formed. So that data we are going to display here. Just check it. So that is providing like this. Output is good. Output is okay. Dynamically data is printed. So every time we have to open the double quotes, we have to keep plus symbol. So a lot of n number of concatenations. Every time we have to close the double quotes, we have to open it. A lot of nuisance of opening and closing double quotes. Sometimes confusion also. To overcome this problem, we have a concept called string interpolation. Means here just we have backtick operator we have to use. Then if you want to print the person name value, person one variable value, if you want to print, we have to use a dollar symbol. with a brace open and brace close. Dollar symbol, brace open, brace close. So this will substitute the actual value of the particular variable. Dollar symbol, brace open, brace close with a variable name. That this whole thing will be equal to the actual value, whatever the variable contains. What the actual value of the variable? Scott, right? So in this place we can assume Scott. This dollar, the brace open, variable name, brace close, this whole thing is equal to Scott. Remaining part normally you can provide double quotes not required. This will be inside the backtick only. So double quotes or backtick need not be closed. This will be a part of the backtick. And how do we print the %2 dynamically? Again, dollar, brace open, brace close. So wherever you want to print that particular variable value, we have to use this syntax. So no need of plus symbol, no need of double quotes, all these things. Here also once again we have to use the same syntax. Finally, at last, only one time we have to close the backtick. That's it. So let's compile and run this. See, we got the same output. So output is same, but we have created in a different way. So instead of every time opening and closing the double quotes, plus symbol and all these things, we can just print this particular data. So dynamically we are able to perform the mixing with some static content with the dynamic content. That's what the purpose of this string interpolation. So here interpolation means in the flow of plain text, some other variable is interrupting, right? That is what interpolation means. Clear. So to read the data from arrays, there are several ways. One way is that for loop we can use. Second way, for each loop we can use. Third, for off loop, for in loop. These are the four ways of reading the data from array. Okay, let's understand one by one. First, for loop we are trying to learn. Reading array.ts. First, let's create one array. For example, we have cities is the name of the array. What is the data type? What type of values you want to store? String array. So here we are going to create some list of cities. How many cities we have? 4 cities. Now I want to print these particular cities. So if you give like a console.log of cities, all the data, I mean the complete array will be printed at a time. In a single shot, the complete array will be printed. Okay, just check it out. The complete array is being printed. And right now, what we have to do, instead of printing the whole array at a time in a single shot, I want to read each and every value one by one into a variable and then I want to print it. First option, we can go for loop. As I told already, 4 ways available. One by one we are going through. First option, for loop. For loop is a very traditional loop and very popular loop. Almost every developer is aware of this. And there is no any programmer who don't know for loop actually, right? In many languages it exists. And for loop is supporting forward traveling, reverse traveling, That means from first element to last element we can read. Reverse last element to first element also we can read. Suppose you want to start from middle, anything is possible. So complete grip is in our hands. So if you want to start all the values, so if you want to read all the values, I equal to 0 means I for index. Index starts from 0, ends with the cities dot length. Here length means a count, that is 4. I less than 4 means what? Up to 3. So 0 to 3 we are getting, and each time we are going to print the cities of I. Cities of I we are going to get. Just for separation we are going to print hyphens. Just a separate line I'm going to print. So let's compile and run this. So we got all these 4 values. That's fine, good. This is just one option for you. Second option I'm going to provide. For each loop you are going to use. For each means cities dot for each, cities dot for each. Here for each is a predefined function. And here the for each predefined function will receive a user defined function as argument. Okay, what is this one? This part is one user defined function. This is what? One user defined function. So this function will execute once for one item in the array. Suppose we have 10 items means 10 times it will execute. But every time calling the function repeatedly will make a very bad impact on the memory, because a separate stack needs to be allocated for each time function call. That's why calling the same function in a loop may be memory wise bad. Maybe performance also may be affected. That's why this is one of the not recommended actually. For loop even better than this. The only advantage of for each loop is that it is a simpler syntax than for loop. See, if you read the for loop just generally in a non-technical way, if you can read this, it's a bit complex, right? For loop. I equal to 0, I less than, so all this generally not readable. So cities dot for each. This is well expressive, very understandable, very catchy to understand. By just looking at it, okay, for each city it will execute, easy to understand. That is only advantage, but still memory wise and performance wise for each loop is not better than that. And moreover, here there is no index. There is no index, so we cannot write cities of I here. That's why alternatively we have to declare one variable as argument in the function. For example, city. This variable name can be anything. This variable is representing current working city. First time this function is getting called means the city is equal to Hyderabad. Next time same function is called second time, right? So at that time city is equal to Chennai. Next time city equal to Mumbai. So each time the current working city is represented as city variable. So instead of printing cities of I, we have to print the variable city. Okay, so we got this one. Next, okay, this is the second option for you. Third option I'm going to provide. Third option is for off loop. For keyword for variable city of cities. That's it. So here we are not using any function. We are not going to use any function here. That's why this is not having any performance problem. So what happens, just like previous case, from the cities one by one value will be given to the variable city. I mean, first time city equal to Hyderabad, next time city equal to Chennai, and so on. Each time the value is being printed here. But still the problem is since it is not index based, all the values will be read. Sometimes, for example, you want to check based on the index. You want to check a condition based on the index. Suppose if the index is a even number, you want to do something. If it is odd number, you want to do something. If the index is cross the 50, you want to do another logic. So based on the index, you want to add some logic means the condition you want to keep in the loop means that is not possible. That is why we have to go for the last option, that is for in loop. In this case, index is given here. Since index is given, so we should write like cities of J. Here J is index. As I value already declared above, that's why I have used other variable like J. We can give any variable name. Variable name doesn't matter. But here the J is representing index. Just like I is representing index, right? So just like that, J also representing index. So cities of J, like this we can represent. Clear? So since it is index based, directly we can keep some condition based on the index, like a J value reach to 1, reach to 5. We can keep some condition based on that. So that flexibility is available. So that's why as of now the best available options is either for loop we can use or for in. Even though for each and for off is available, it's having some drawbacks. So recommended is for loop or for in. These two are the best options. If you're comfortable, very handy with the for loop, you can go with that. Otherwise, if you're a newcomer, you can prefer using for in loop. Okay, this is all about the reading the data from array.